Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman, the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. I love saying that and I recommend you use that. This is video 191, and if you haven't been here before, this is a left-leaning political and psychic YouTube channel, and I add in some fun things. I'm a hypnotherapist, I do psychic coaching, and I'm an author. And everything about me, plus contact information, is all below because I'm reducing my introduction. I'm experimenting here. So what I do is I disseminate news, information, and I add psychic commentary and sometimes the runes, and we have a lot of runes today. And it's for entertainment purposes only, and let's begin. So I'm starting with good evidence, and I'm just going to share personal, it's my left ear good evidence. So the last video I did, I had, a wonderful epiphany after the caucus that Joe Biden is definitely going to continue to be our president. He's going to win. And I'm still standing by it. I feel it's in my bones. What I didn't know, because I made the headline kind of look like clickbait, but it was really from my heart. I haven't checked this morning, but I almost got 10,000 views. Now, I might have more now, but I didn't even look today. It blew my mind. It's never happened before in 3.5 years, almost 3.5 years. And then I did also get about 40 new subscribers with really wonderful notes to me. So I want to say thank you. It blew my mind. It made my day. But I'll tell you what, the fact that people responded to, in all caps, Joe Biden is going to win, tells me the same thing that the caucus told me. There's this emotional response to Joe Biden and Joe Biden winning. And so I don't know if I'll maintain that, but I loved it, and I want to say thank you. And if anybody's new, please do subscribe. I'm growing now a little bit, 2024. So it was a tsunami. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because this has been a sort of humble YouTube channel. Humble, sincere, authentic. All right, so here we go. That was good evidence for my left ear. Thought I'd share, wanted to say thank you a million. And then E. Jean Carroll, you must know by now, has been awarded $83 million for the continued defamation of her character and persona by Donald Trump. It was a very emotional trial, if you checked into any of it. Donald had tantrums and he jumped up and walked away. Alina Baba was inappropriate, made mistakes, didn't know how to introduce evidence. It was quite a thing. But something fun came out of, there's two things I want to tell you about this E. Jean Carroll thing. And boy, is she a woman to be admired. When I was younger, I read her columns all the time. She was very funny, very clever. So I've known about her for many, many years. I played a game with a friend last night. It is a very fun game, and I recommend you find a friend and do it over a cup of coffee. What would you do with $83 million? So the friend, it was long distance up in Northern California, and she told me all the things she wanted to do. And then I talked about the things I would do with it. And I tell you, it lit us up. It was a lot of fun. So play that game. What would you do with $83 million? Well, one of the things I've been longing to do for many, many years is have enough money to buy a beautiful loft in New York City, in the Tribeca neighborhood, a loft that is all updated, but has exposed brick and has that very authentic feeling with big windows. That's my dream. The other thing would be to go to Europe first class airfare, first class everything. That would be a lot of fun. And it went on and on. So try that. I mean, it'll light you up. Now, the thing I want to tell you from my left ear directly, not the runes, is I don't believe Eugene is going to get paid this money. That's just my left ear. It's like he's so defiant and angry, and I think it's going to be a big, she's fine. She has the triumph. She has the support of so many people, but I have real doubts whether they're going to be able to extract even half of that for her. I also don't believe that he's going to shut up. And I know that her attorney said in her final arguments, he jumped up and left and kept saying loudly, "This isn't America. This isn't America." And I was like, yeah, it is. Move. You're guilty, bud. But she said, how much is it going to take for this guy to shut up? I don't think he will shut up. I think he's that defiant and insane. We will see. All right. I also, this is my left ear. I'm going to get to the runes, but this is, I get this information. I believe, sort of at the end of the day, we will find Trump begging Joe Biden for a pardon. Honestly and truly, because he has no shame. And he'll try to pull that off, and Biden will not. He will not, okay? He's not Gerald Ford. And there is a roadblock of getting a pardon out of the Georgia case. So even if one could, in Georgia, I believe you have to spend time in jail before that can even come up. All right. Now, this is so great. Biden won in the New Hampshire caucus for the Democrats, and he won due to write-ins. People wrote his name in, and he did not campaign for it. He put out no messages for it, no requests for it, no advertising for it. It just happened. People wrote in his name. Big deal. And another sign. See? Another sign. And now I introduced you to Simon Rosenberg, who you may have not known. He's a phenomenal legal analyst, and he's a Democrat. So he just said, under Biden, we've got the best job market since 1960s, best G7 recovery. All three stock markets indicate record highs. Prices falling now, including groceries, rents, mortgages. I'm in California, and I'm not sure that rents are falling here, but that's not a criticism of Joe Biden. Deficit trillions less. Real wage growth. Historically strong, lowest uninsured rate in history. Brava, Joe. I mean, I think, I might embrace being underestimated. I normally am, by the way. But now I'm thinking it's not such a bad thing. You can surprise people. So I have thoughts about Nikki Haley, and I did runes. All right. I don't like her at all, but I don't hate her. I just don't like her. I don't think she's would be a good president under any circumstances. She's remarkably conservative and staunch in that respect. But I have this lingering question, and here it is. Because Trump is decomposing, and his brain is cratering, and he's saying crazy things, he's repeating things, he's talking like Obama is still president. He mixed up Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi. Well, that's a feat, isn't it, to mix those up? So he's not looking good. Now, if we look maybe 5 months from now, 6 months from now, he's going to be worse. His condition doesn't get better. It just gets worse. And with his stress, his rage and his lack of sleep, because he does tweeting all night long, it is possible, according to my left ear, we're going to get to the runes in a minute, that Nikki is waiting in the wings to see if he survives, drops dead, ends up in a nursing home, whatever, and she will jump in there and run. Now, I don't know what the details of that are, like what has to happen, is there a vote, but I feel like she's waiting in the wings to be the the actresses who jumps in and does the Broadway show. So I asked, will Nikki Haley end up running against Joe Biden? As crazy as it sounds, I think it's worth a question. So the first rune I got was a rune of separation in the reversed position. And separation is about retreat and, strangely, inheritance. So this is what the runes say. This is not a time to be bound by old conditioning or old authority. Consider not only what will benefit you, but what will benefit others according to the light you possess. She does not carry any light with her. Total honesty is required here, because you may have to undertake a radical departure from old ways. But it says, through negligence or refusal to see clearly, you may cause pain to others and damage yourself. Adaptability and skillful means are methods to cultivate this time. Then we went on to the warrior reversed, okay? So this is the spiritual warrior. The danger is that through hasty or ill-timed action, she may make a huge error in judgment. Life force can leak out or spill out, Nikki. If an association is short-lived, do not grieve. Know that it has fulfilled its span. And my interpretation is, if an association is short-lived, it's her run for president to be for the primary. Matters of trust and confidence are at issue here, and speak to the authenticity of your way of being in the world. And the thing is, she's not really authentic. I'm not the only one who says that. Chris Matthews, who used to be on NBC, talked about something that I agree with, that and part of it comes from my acting and directing background. When she shows up to speak, she's pretty good at coming in with the one-liners and the fast responses, but she's not showing up like in an authentic way. You can't really compare her to Joe Biden because he's 100% authentic. But there's a way a candidate shows up that reveals something about themselves that's human and that other people might like, but she's in a performance, okay? And that is not good. And she goes with the way the wind is blowing, She's sort of like the say anything candidate, just like Trump is the say anything ex-president. So she will flip-flop, she will pull back, she will try to read the room, and she will try to please, and she's just not authentic, all right? So that's the spiritual warrior in reverse. Then we got initiation in reverse. She got all reverses. It's a counsel about expecting too much, Nikki, or expecting it in the ordinary way. Don't get ahead of your skis, Nikki. The old has come to an end. So right now, you are not the candidate, nor are you going to be. I'll pause for a minute and say, from Carrie, from my left ear, that she's disappointed, of course, but she's having fun calling out Trump. And it's kind of fun watching her. She does it pretty good. I hate to give her any compliments, but she does it pretty good. She had said, Trump's just having himself a little tantrum over there. And it was good. I enjoyed it. And she's going to stay in a little bit because she's enjoying this. she's enjoying the freedom of just lambasting him. All right. She shouldn't expect too much, though. The old way has come to an end. He's going to start out running. He's going to run. But it tells her, if you repeat the old ways, there may be suffering. You may really cause yourself some difficulty. So, Nikki, call in your scattered energies and focus on the best next move for you. Do not dwell on outcomes. Be present. You have a choice. So it's a unique situation. It didn't completely give me my answer, but I believe this is what she's thinking. This is what her team is thinking. Let's just make as much fuss as possible, and then we'll back off. And when he completely falls apart, maybe we can think about you rising to the top and running. I have a hard time with his condition picturing Donald Trump lasting till November. You know, he's getting worse and worse and worse. Now, finally, people on TV are talking about it. They should have been talking about it for the last 3 or 4 years, but no way. So I'll do the runes again. I just wanted to bring it up that she might be waiting in the wings, like a Broadway understudy, okay? So Joe Biden, I didn't know he had, or whatever department, lobbied a lawsuit against Texas and Greg Abbott using this existing razor wire at the Texas border, which is cutting, killing, and killing children. It's brutal, this Texas wire. So he won in the Supreme Court. But you may know this. Greg Abbott being Greg Abbott, which is pure evil and sadism, he's adding more wire. He's defying the Supreme Court. So, boy, I hate this guy. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I just hate Greg Abbott. Oh, he's so sick. So I asked the runes, will DOJ indict Greg Abbott for murder and or endangerment? So it's interesting. I got the rune of joy, and the joy is our joy. It's not his joy. He can't have joy. It's not a part of his, map. So it's joy and it's light. It speaks of happiness, of things finally coming together. Speaks of the culmination of a phase. And when joy appears in your casting, you can be assured that a positive result will bring joy. So joy is just not on the Greg Abbott menu. So the joy is our joy, meaning that DOJ is going to step in, don't know when, and start to break this up because he's defying the Supreme Court, and this is a bad precedent. The other side is going to be trying this more and more. So something's going to happen there. But it does say the rune is emblematic of a new clarity and understanding in the current situation. Now we get another interesting rune about my question. Will Greg Abbott be held accountable for this? And I got movement, which is progress. And the horse is aligned with movement in the runes. And it's about the horse, creating a transit, which is interesting because these poor immigrants are in the middle of a very dangerous transit. So I find that interesting. And Accept the path, even if the stairs are steep. And this is a tough one, this immigration thing. And by the way, you probably know this. I mean, the Democrats came up with a proposal which includes Ukraine and the border, and it is my understanding that it's a very fair proposal. And now, pastor, speaker, pervert, insurrectionist Mikey Johnson is fighting against the border solution that they asked for. All right. And now the GOP are pulling back from it. They are the worst. All right. Movement, which is our benefit, is also saying that you have progressed far enough to feel a measure of safety. Face the future, reassured. And the third rune for this migrant border situation and the defiance of the Supreme Court, it says it's reversed, possessions reversed. There may be considerable frustration, and I wrote, in Abbott's life right now, from the trivial to severe. He falls short of his efforts. He reaches out and misses. He could find himself watching his gains dwindle. Now, I put in, when I copied this, he, meaning Abbott, falls short. Abbott reaches out and misses. Okay, just want to be clear about that. Now, in the reversed, this rune asks, what do I need to learn? Well, Abbott's not going to learn anything. He's a very dark shadow individual, and my ear just said to me, he's headed for a lot of personal trouble. Okay, this just came in. He's headed for a lot of personal trouble. Right, now we're moving on. We're going to talk about Fani Willis and that whole situation with Fani Willis hiring a friend or associate, maybe even a personal relationship, to be a part of the team. And then this man who's he's part of the RICO being charged, Mike Roman. And he's the one who lobbied this lawsuit or subpoena towards Fani Willis, accusing her of engaging in nefarious activities and all kinds of stuff. So Mike Roman, I want to share with you what I just discovered, who is on trial in Georgia and who filed against Fani Willis, is trying to create a scandal. He was, this Mike Roman, a White House employee with a made-up job that seemed to entail finding dirt on people. So who does that but a mafia organization? And Trump being a blonde mafia boss. It can be on no other person that brought him in. And so he was doing what he's been asked to do, find dirt, let's get rid of her. And it's taxpayer funded. That's really disturbing. So the documents were opened over this Wade's divorce that was 2 or 3 years ago. That's not complete. I thought it was complete. And they can't find anything relevant in these papers about the RICO case at all. There's no indication. All right. Now we get in this question, strength. Strength. An animal known for it's the wild ox, by the way. An animal known for its recalcitrance and its massive strength when put to good use. And I would say that would be Fani. She's a force. I mean, she's a force. It communicates that one can count on sufficient strength to carry out all that is proposed. We must be responsible and use this power intelligently. And she is. She is going to meet in front of the judge and go through those steps, rightfully. But I'm here to tell you that she's going to run this RICO case. Nothing's going to happen to her. She has to go through these motions because the mafia is trying to get her out of there. That means they know she's really great, she's really prepared, and they're really scared because nobody can get a pardon if they're guilty in Georgia. And that might also be the reason that Mark Meadows wanted to get out of Georgia. So the last one is like an opening that's in reverse. So it says, expect a darkening of the light in some situation. A friendship might be dying, a partnership, a marriage, or even some aspect of yourself. It is like a death over a way of life that no longer is valid. And it's about facing up to this consciously. I would imagine this blind side that got lobbied to her does change her a little bit, does make her a little wiser. But this is called giving up the old gladly and living for a time with emptiness. There is this possibility she might ask, this is a long-term friend, by the way, this attorney she brought on to prosecute. They have a long professional relationship that's extremely on the up and up. We don't know yet if, or I don't know yet if they have had a personal relationship. And even then, it's not illegal. Like, you don't think policemen hook up or have personal relationships or meet on the job and get married? Of course they do. Nobody gets released from the police department. Somewhat similar. And then the self reversed says, perhaps you're at a time when you need to reconsider your situation. Well, she's doing that. It is difficult to find one's place in the world sometimes. And if you are blocked, Mana, that's the name of the self, urges you to begin by clearing with yourself. Do not turn to others. It's possible he may leave the team, but honestly, I don't think so. And I don't think he needs to, by the way. This is what, the Trump people want. They want to mess her up on this RICO thing. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to happen. But we're going to see all the somersaults and machinations and all of that. So now I'm coming to a quote, because I did a lot of talking here. And the quote is from a book called The Science of Happiness. And it is by Arthur Brooks, which he wrote with Oprah Winfrey. And he discusses, I saw him interviewed, and he discusses the recipe for happiness. And he said, it's about focusing on faith, family, friends, and work that serves other people. That's the recipe. He said, happiness is not about money, pleasure, fame, or power. And the last thing he says, which I think is a great quote, happiness is not a destination. It's a direction. It's a direction. So there you have it. There's so much to cover. I wanted to get in here earlier this week, and I am in the middle of a lawsuit that's not dangerous. In fact, I'm going to win it. But there were a lot of things to talk about with my lawyer and phone calls and stuff like that. So I got a little bit waylaid. There's more coming, and I'm glad to see you. And I want to say again, thank you. Thank you for the messages and the subscribers and the hits. It was very exciting. Very exciting. Really good news. So what I'm going to do right now, it's Saturday, is I'm going to have something to eat because I'm really hungry and I almost feel a headache coming on. I haven't eaten. And then I'm going to come back and do an all-new Patreon, which I have planned. So the Patreon, you may not see it until tomorrow morning, but I'm going to take care of that. So I'll see my Patreon people soon, and make peace, make good memories, focus on the good evidence. And can you feel the upsurge? Can you feel the upsurge? Boy, I sure can. All right, I'm gonna go have a good breakfast, and I hope you do too. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.